This is the original. This room, and then the boys' bedroom above it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the original house that was built in 1848.
Okay.
And then it was expanded upon as the years went on. The kitchen was the first thing put on in the 1850s, and then in the 1870s they added the living room, the parlor, and then the bedrooms above them, which would be the master bedroom and Louisa's bedroom.
Now, what are the names of the children that did actually pass away?
You have, okay, Wesley and Mabel passed away at a young age, right close to each other, within weeks of each other.
Okay.
And then Louise passed away a short while later. Those were the three children that passed away. You know, we have, through our investigations ourselves, we've picked up family members, at least who appears to be family members. And, you know, we've heard the little girl singing before. We assume it's Louise because she was artistic. And then in the late 1880s, early 1890s, they added that back room that we now call the music room. And that was because Dora fell depressed because of three of her children passing away in a pretty close time frame. And that was the very last thing added onto the house. After Earl passed away, Dora lived about another 25 years, give or take, something like that. And then after she passed away, then Arthur stayed here, and Alfred lived in a house across the way there.
Do you want us here? If you can show us that you're here, I'll leave.
How are you gonna get home?
Uber. Yeah, take a carriage. Steal a horse.
By the time you find one, you might as well have walked home.
It's a really nice house.
It is. Actually, to be honest with you, I actually feel comfortable here.
Same here. I feel really. I was telling these guys I could live here. That's how.
You know what I mean? You know, like Edinburgh and stuff like that.
You get
You
that
run on
queasy
easy,
feeling.
yeah.
Yeah,
I could fall asleep here.
I know.
Like I said, I could live here.
I mean, not like that's bad. I'm just saying it's.
Yeah,
That's the
peaceful.
type of places I kind of actually like. Is
This is very peaceful.
you know,
Keep you on your
that's
seat.
the time. Just sit there and talk to me as much as you want to. If you want to leave me alone, then hey.
But one of the things about the way that this house was Dora was very known for taking in kids when their parents were sick to come and stay with them. And they would always have people coming as they traveled. We were right on the edge of town here at that time. And so they would, if they were, I guess, of good enough stature, they could stay in the house. If not, they camped on the lawn. So there was people in and out of this house, staying here, living here, all the time.
Alrighty, we're recording. It's gonna be 11, 20-ish.
We're up in the boys' room.
It's 11:18. Just started recording in the boys' room. Up and running. Back in the same room.
What's the battery life on this?
I have no idea.
Can you come towards this meter in my hand?
Can you set the meter off? What's the baseline on it?
0.
Okay.
Bouncing in between, but I think it's just when I move it, it bounces.
Yeah. Made in China.
Alrighty, so it is at the moment 4:25. In essence, 6. Nothing overt. Couple of weird things. They could all just be technical. Had number one camera in the room where we were doing the session, trying to get communication when that started. That camera just went dark, and we got 5 cameras, so yeah, it could just go out. Whether we're reading too much into that, I'm not sure. Probably. But nothing overt up to now, and like I say, we'll look at the recorders we've got everywhere. That's all we can do, sadly. So, but you're gonna have nights like this. Can't all be, dude, what was that? Dude.
So, here we are finishing up our evening. We really would like to know if there is a presence here. Oh, I thought it was a good evening.
Had fun.
Yeah. We gotta spend the night in the museum.
Yeah, maybe both can say that.
The weirdest part of tonight was feeling so comfortable in a strange place.
Which is very strange
Yeah. Walking.
in itself when you walk in someplace and yet you don't feel like,
It's kind of the reverse of the places we normally go.
Yeah. Love you, ghost.
What you get if that's the case? Oh, excuse me. Bill, we're not here to stir up any type of anger or hostility. We're just here to talk and communicate. You know, even if the questions that we asked you didn't want to answer, if there's something else you want to tell us or let us know.
So, we've been using this thing all night. And, as I feared, it's crap. So, here's the thing. Before I make final judgment on this, I'm going to listen to the recordings we have. But, I said I want definite answers to the question, not random words, because otherwise I'm going to think that it's a radio station. If I hadn't asked for definite answers, if I just talked some of those words, I could have said, oh, I'm being answered. Thing being is, I said specific answers. Yes, no, numbers, that kind of thing. So, not impressed. I mean, we could have jazzed it up and gone, ooh, and all that good stuff to make a good video, except now I might come back after listening to it and going, wait a minute, we missed this part, but I really don't think it's going to happen. Went over the spirit box stuff, and I think I was horribly wrong. After we reviewed it, we were getting answers, or sounded like answers, that were pretty close to answering the questions that we asked, and actually answering them pretty specifically. I'm going to put those together now for you. And make your minds up. We're going to say what, we'll show what we think they're saying. Once again, depends on the theory of the spirit box. So, as far as I can understand, they're using the radio waves that are out there to cobble together a sentence. You know, that's one theory that's been put forward. You know, very few people think they're speaking directly through the radio waves, especially because it's scanning up and down. So, I don't know. It just, when we listen to it, some of the answers we got, and even there's one in there that wasn't even a question. It was after one of Ron's great belches. So we'll put them together and see what you think.
Do you live here or are you just visiting? Just give me a name, as close as you can get. We can always listen to it later. Did you break the camera? Do you prefer Marion or Cedar Rapids?
Well, actually, I should say the very last thing added onto the house was the little coves that are down here in this dining room. That was added on because Earl saw that somebody had one in Cedar Rapids. And back then there was a big competition between Marion and Cedar Rapids. Mm-hmm. And so he had one put on.
How many horses did you own?
Well, I couldn't really say how many horses, but he had to have had horses.
Yeah.
You know, and the way the carriage house is set up now, the back section Arthur and Alfred added on in 1900 because they wanted to put their pregnant horses back there away from the other working horses. Okay. So there's 2 big stalls back there, so I have to, and there's what, 4 stalls in the front section, I believe. Okay. And those were for horses too, so I mean that's at least 6. I'm sure they had a couple more.
Do these mannequins everywhere creep you out as much as they do me?
Are we annoying you?
So there you have the Granger House. The place is amazing. The guys that run it and let us in, really friendly, really nice people. What I got out of it is, I think if there's a haunting there, it's a latent one. You feel so comfortable in the house. You're not on edge. I mean, it's not one of those things where people were axed to death or lived in misery or anything like that. They were, you know, there's 100 years worth of people, the same family living there. Sure, they had, you know, some bad things happen to them. Children dying. Wasn't exceptional for that time though. And I think it's one of those background hauntings, if you can put it that way. I think we did get something from the spirit box. I'm sure there's lots of other things we know, but you know, for me it was just too specific. You know, some of those answers that we were hearing or think we were hearing were too specific to the question. The other thing I will say is that you know, I think if you go there regularly or you are seen there regularly, I think you'll get more overt stuff going on. Once again, it's just a feeling I got. But if there's any paranormal groups, I would suggest doing the Granger House, just because, just because you feel good when you're there. And I think, you know, if you go there and do, even if you just go do spirit box sessions, I think you'll come away with something worthwhile. So, give it a try. Thank you.